Okay, we're going to find out all about a new play called In the Name of the Sun. It's all about the life of Gerry Conlon, and it runs at the Lyric Theatre right through until the 14th of November. Shaun Blaney is playing the part of Gerry Conlon, and he joins us now on the line. Shaun, how are you?
Very good, Robin. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. So tell us about the play, first of all. I remember coming to the first press launch way back in 2020 when it was supposed to happen. And of course, you were postponed due to the coronavirus, weren't you?
Yeah, I think we were one of the first shows to be closed due to coronavirus. We did 4 shows on the road. And we were just saying last night we were up in Armagh. Somebody had come into the theatre as we were teching to say there's a nasty outbreak of coronavirus in the bank across the road. And we go, God, I hope this doesn't turn into something much bigger. And then the world shut down for a year and a half. But yeah, we are raring to go now. We're so happy to be back with it and to be back in the Lyric and get the show in front of people.
So it's a one-man show, so there must be a lot of pressure on for you then.
Wee bit, yeah. Do you know what? It doesn't actually feel like a one-man show when I'm doing it, which is lovely. And I'm the only one on stage, but the team is always there with me. The lights and the sound by James and Garth are just as integral as my performance. And Tony has been there with me right up. And the stage manager is always cueing the show. So it feels like a team effort every night, which is lovely. So although I'm saying the words, it's a complete team effort.
So before getting the role, you must have watched the movie In the Name of the Father.
Do you know what? I only watched it once, just in case, because there is no point in. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is just a chameleon, and he's the best actor that I can think of. So I really watched it for Sarah and Giuseppe more than Daniel's performance because I kind of wanted to stay away from that. I thought that would cripple me if I tried to do Daniel Day-Lewis. But it's also a movie that gave Gerry a lot of pain that not many people know. So I read his book a few times cover to cover to just get a sense of the guy, and I talked to his friends, Ricky O'Rourke, who wrote the play. I have a few more friends to get in contact with Gerry's before I open the Lyric. But yeah, that movie was a bit scary to me, so I just stayed away from it, if I'm honest.
And of course, after the movie, when it was winning all the awards and stuff, Gerry himself actually got to go to the Oscars, didn't he?
He did. He had the most amazing life after he got out of prison. And even by the time he got to the Oscars, he felt like he'd lived 3 or 4 different lifetimes, which is just incredible. So really, when we sat down to do the play with Martin and Ricky, we had too much stuff because he just had that amazing a life. So it was really about finding the through line through it and just picking out these amazing moments that he had, like doing crack in the toilet of the Oscars because it was too boring to stay in for the ceremony. Road trips. It's nuts. That it's an amazing life.
But being in the toilet during the Oscars, that was the best place to be because he got to meet all the Hollywood stars, didn't he?
That was it. I mean, we show a couple of them in the play, and I do my best to, bring Robin Williams and Christopher Walken to life. But it's really just, who I felt I could do a good enough impression of. But he met like the likes of Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro in the bathrooms, and him and his best mate at the time just decided, what's the point in going back in when we can talk to the lads here at the urinal?
And as you've said, he had this amazing life. I mean, he blew something like £1 million as well, didn't he?
He did. He just when he got out of prison, they thought money would make everything better, and someone who was as tortured as Gerry just didn't know what to do with it. He was racked with guilt, so money was just a way for him to forget the guilt that he was carrying for prison. So he spent it on everything, just drugs, drink, parties, how he got rid of it so quickly. It was amazing. At one point, he spent 250 grand in 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that whenever he was let out, he needed help emotionally. Yeah. And they just gave him help financially, and he just didn't know what to do with it.
And of course, we all remember those famous scenes on TV when he was released. There were famous news scenes from all around the world, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I watched that clip, I don't know how many times. to try and get a feel of him. And I've watched the work he's done with Mojo, the speeches he gave. There's loads of his speeches in his later life on online with Paddy Hill. So I've watched them on, I don't know how many times, for hours. And he did some amazing, incredible work. And when he was on it, he was driven and passionate and just witty, and held audiences spellbound, which is kind of something which scared me coming into it. It was like, I have to hold an audience the way Gerry held an audience, and that's massive. But he really, really struck me as a man who needed a mission, and when there was no mission, that's when he was at his lowest, because he just he couldn't be alone.
So has this been the dream part then so far in your career?
This is yeah. I mean, it's no brainer. You know what I mean? It's my first time in the Lyric, so I'm so happy to be in with this show. It's been amazing working with Tony Devlin. I love working with my director. It is a wee bit selfish to just do all the parts, but I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to an audience. Yeah, it's probably the most fulfilling. It's been heartbreaking, consider we started it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we're picking it up again, so there was a big chunk of time in the middle. But yeah, it is the hardest work I've ever done, and probably the most fulfilling as well.
Now, tell me about this. I saw you coming up the Wagon in a bubble the other day. What was all that about?
Because Martin Lynch is just incredible at causing a scene. There's some offhand comment we made in the middle of lockdown. I don't know who he says I said it. I'm nearly sure I didn't say it, but somebody said, if this comes back, we may as well come up the Wagon in a bubble. I think somebody was watching Line of Duty, and before I know it, he's got me in a wetsuit and a life preserver out in the middle of the Wagon. And those things have no steering wheels. Like, I couldn't make it move for the life of me. I even toppled it over and ended up with my head in the water. But like, it's all in good fun. Anything to get an audience back, anything to get the word of mouth around.
Brilliant. Well, the very best of luck with the run off In the Name of the Sun. As you said, it's on at the Lyric Theatre, and it runs right through until the 14th of November. Shaun, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Robin. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.